Tracy here on HeathandTracyTV going live. Happy Mother's Day. It's been an absolutely beautiful day in North Carolina. I'm by myself today because Heath is very much under the weather. He spent last week in Vegas, and I think he caught a bug on the plane. I think that's what happened, because he got home and he seemed fine, but he's been in the bed for like the last 24 hours. And I had some things I wanted to share on this glorious Mother's Day. I wanted to say love you to all the mothers out there. My son William's holding the camera today. He doesn't want you to see because he's got his hair all twisted up. I don't think it's a big deal. He's still absolutely beautiful. But I just wanted to talk really quickly about what you think is valuable about women, since we're thinking about our mothers today. And what are your beliefs around what makes a woman valuable? I want to talk about this because Heath and I were discussing this the other day. And what we were figuring out that first, women have to value themselves. I think if you value yourself, a real man, a real gentleman, a real significant other will see that value. If you're with someone or know someone or want to be with someone that does not value you like you do, then that's not the right person. And if you're in a marriage already, you really need to have a conversation around what is valuable to them in a wife, in a woman, and a significant other. Just because somebody is, super intelligent or went to college or they're fine or whatever you think is attractive to you does not mean that they're going to value you. What is their value system? If you're always talking to some guy or a friend or something, always talking about what this looks like back here, what this looks like up here, what her hair is doing, and if that's all he values in a woman, you need to rethink that. You need to rethink that relationship, because we're so much more, ladies. We're so much more than that. We are everything. We are the rib. We are everything. And so you've got to figure out that value in yourself. If you're always showing your body, if you're always showing certain other things, if you're always doing other things, that's what you're showing is valuable. So I want you to first think about what is valuable. The second thing that Heath and I talked about was taking care of yourselves. And I'm really guilty of this. As a mother and a wife, it's hard sometimes. I'm going to be honest with you. 2 times a year, my birthday and Mother's Day, I really stop and think about, what do I want to do today? What do I feel like eating today? What do I feel like doing today? What do I feel like watching on television? What do I feel like reading? It's really only 2 days a year I really think about this. And I realized it on my birthday a couple years ago. I was like, well, what am I going to do today? What am I going to do today? Hi, how you doing? Talking about women's worth today, women's value, and happy Mother's Day. And I thought about 2 times a year, Tracy? 2 times a year you're thinking about yourself? Girl, come on. So I said, okay, today is Mother's Day. What am I going to do? Check it out. Heath is asleep and sick, and all the kids were asleep. I was like, I'm going to eat what I want to go eat. So I went to my favorite sushi restaurant, and I sat at the bar, and I watched whatever they had on television, and the sushi chef knows me. He made whatever I wanted, and I had an awesome day. No, I didn't really spend them. I spent every day with my kids. So it was a really, really good experience. I'm so sorry I didn't take you. I know you want to go. I know. But it was cool. It was something I wanted to do. And if you don't do that, if you don't take those days to figure out what you want, even if it's just 2 days a year, your birthday and Mother's Day, if you don't figure it out, you'll forget. I remember there was a time when people said, what's your favorite color, Mommy? Well, I don't know. I ain't thought about it. I know what your favorite color is, and I know what his favorite color is, and I know what her favorite. I don't even know what my favorite color is. So you want to think about those things as a mom. So the first thing is, what do you value about yourself? Hopefully it's not just your body, because we're so much more than that. And the second thing is, take time, not just 2 days a year, ladies, your birthday and Mother's Day. 3, I want you to think about the word legacy. Wow, that's a big one. I'm just a regular mom with regular kids, with a regular job and a regular situation. What are you talking about, Tracy? Legacy. Check this. You're gonna leave a legacy, whether you believe it or not. What is your legacy gonna be? Think about it. When I think about my legacy with my kids, I think about they're gonna know who they are and what they love in their life and what they're gonna do with it. I've instilled that in my children. I've said, what do you want to be? It's not about what the world says or what culture says or what society says. It's about what do you want to be when you're out of here? What do you want to contribute to the world? And that's one thing my kids say, Mom, you did this. Mom, you made me like this. And I didn't. I just went with what God told me to tell them. And my Father in heaven said, Tracy, get them to believe in them. Get them to believe who they are. And that is what I feel my legacy to my kids is. The other thing about my legacy that I think about is one of instilling Christ in them, that Christ is in them and that he moves in them in everything they do. Even when they're having a crappy day, even when it doesn't seem like it, even when they feel like they're alone. I've taught my kids that they can go to Christ. And the other thing I've taught them is love. You have to love people through whatever they're doing, whatever they're going through, whatever is maddening about your situation right now. If you apply love to it, it's going to be fine. So that's what I want you to think about when you think about today and you think about yourself. Think about legacy. What kind of legacy am I going to leave my kids? The fourth thing I want you to think about today, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to apply it to Mommy's Day, is I want you to be courageous. Be courageous in your walk. Be courageous at work. Be courageous in your neighborhood. Be courageous when you're dealing with your kids' teachers. Don't be afraid to speak up. You know, as a woman of color, I like to call myself an African American, a black person, whatever you want to, whatever label you want to apply to yourself. I don't believe in labels. You want to make sure they understand and not continue to marginalize you or your voice. So the fourth thing I want to ask you to do today is be courageous. Be courageous in sharing your thoughts with others. I don't mean cussing them out. I don't mean telling them how I'm feeling today. I mean, be courageous in getting them to understand a different point of view that may not be like theirs. I had an interesting call at work this week. And on the call, something kept saying to me, this is wrong. This is wrong what they're talking about doing. And I was at first, for maybe about a second, I was afraid to say something. But something in me, I just dug down. I don't know if it's because I'm past 50 or what, but something made me dig deep down and say, guys, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in what you're putting out here, and I think it needs to be different. And I'm going to tell you why I think it needs to be different, because I don't think this is how you should run a business. And everyone paused, and I'm not sure what that meant, but for the most part, I spoke up and I was courageous, and it made me feel so good. So another thing I want you to think about doing in the coming week and today is be courageous. The fifth thing, and I got this from Kamala Harris listening to Howard's commencement yesterday, is speak, I want to say what she said, speak truth and only truth. There's truth, you know. This is exactly what she said. I loved it. The earth is, what did she say? Is it the earth is flat, the world is round? I don't know. I have to find it. The sky is blue, the earth is round. But everybody knows Howard is a real HU. You know, I had to throw that in there. Those are facts, okay? So when you talk about speaking your truth, it's about coming across and protecting others in the truth that everybody accepts. Morals, let's just talk about that. So speaking your truth in morals. If you hear someone talking about somebody else, stand up for them and say, hey, what are you talking about? That's not true. Or I think you should think about it like this. Don't be afraid. And I guess that goes along with being courageous, because you got to be courageous to speak the truth. And if you don't know how to do these things, if you're sitting there thinking about, well, what are you talking about, Tracy? I guess it's going to take me a minute to figure out. That's too hard. Why don't I just keep doing what I'm doing? Think about somebody that you want to model. There's nothing wrong with taking a look at someone else's life and saying that's pretty cool, or admiring something that they've done recently and modeling that. Write down what it is you dig about it, and write it down and then copy it. A lot of people get caught up in imposter. You know, I'm impostoring somebody. I'm doing what somebody else did. I'm saying what else somebody else said. No such thing. There's not another you. There's only one you. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. If there's somebody you can't think of, right, it'll come to you, but I do want you to take time to think about this. Another thing is love. And I mentioned this earlier when I talked about my legacy with my kids. I try to love people through everything. I had a really tough time at work last year, and it was very, very difficult to talk to people on a daily basis that I felt like I didn't care about. I felt like didn't care about me. But when I went to love, it changed. It changed my perspective. It changed my outlook on my job. It changed everything because I changed my lens to one of love. I looked at them with love. And I'm going to say something maybe a little different right now. There's a lot going on in our country right now with our new administration. And I want you to stop and love on that man in the Oval Office because he needs it. If we can figure out how to love, a love will change a heart. Now, trust me, I know how hard it is. I've been in situations, you want me to do what? With what? What are you talking about? Love is everything. Love is the answer. Love is key. Try it. Try it on somebody small and then move on up the chain to people you're not quite sure you can love on and see what changes in your life and in their life. Apply love. Every time you turn around, when you're feeling the most hate, when you're feeling the most anger, apply love and let's see what happens. And last but not least, guys, I want you to trust God. I've gone through financial challenges in the past year, 10 years, going in and out, whatever. Everybody has little bumps in the road, up and down. I've gone through marital challenges, Heath and I. And one thing that always gets us through is my trust and believe that He wants the best for me. That God wants the best for me. He wants the best for my family. He wants the best for my husband. He wants the best for my children. So when I understand and accept and receive that everything is gonna be all right if I trust Him, it always works out. I don't trust the people I work with. I don't trust my children are gonna make me happy and give me everything I need. My mother, my father, my aunt, my uncle. I don't trust anybody. I trust God. And when I trust Him, He shows up every time. There's been times I had to go in my closet and shut the door and go, okay, show up. Show up right now. Because if you don't show up, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And every single time He did. Every single time He showed up. So just to read off really quick, value yourself today. Take care of yourself, not just on Mother's Day and your birthday. Think of your legacy and the legacy you want to leave to your children, because you definitely have one. Be courageous when you speak in every situation, and don't let others marginalize you because you're a woman. Speak truth and only truth. Model somebody if you're not quite sure what you want it to look like. Always show love in every situation. Love will conquer. It's not just a cliche. Love will conquer it. And last but not least, trust God in every situation. Rest in the situation. Let Him know, I can't do it. I can't do this. This is too big. And when you do that, He shows up every single time. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Tanya. I love you guys. Share it out. Let everybody know I wish them a happy Mother's Day. It's a beautiful day in the South. And thank you. Thank you for joining. I love you guys. Happy Mother's Day. Mwah.